Hello, I'm Davia Chambers and this is Let's Talk Tobago. Today we're at Kapinjala in Arnos Vale, a rustic 4-bedroom villa fit with every modern amenity. Kapinjala is Hindi and it translates to King of Monkeys, which is symbolic of good fortune, cooperation and success. Kapinjala is located at the top of a hill overlooking the Arnos Vale Bay and the Caribbean Sea. This area is a part of the old Arnos Vale Sugar Estate, so it's surrounded by lush greenery and endless land space. The owners call Kapinjala a slice of paradise because of its location and beauty, which you'll see as the program continues. But first, let's tell you what's happening in our stories this week. Several non-governmental organizations in Tobago get assistance. Beyond Carnival, teaching Tobago's pan players to earn outside the season, and Miguel joins the lineup for this year's Tobago Jazz Experience. Welcome back to Let's Talk Tobago. Today we're at Kapinjala, a villa tucked away in the hills of Arnos Vale's old sugar estate. An English family who visited this island back in 2003 thought it would be great to have a place like this. They fell in love with Tobago's charm and its peacefulness, so they returned and purchased land. An attractive feature of this place is this open-plan living room and solid wood ornaments. The decor makes the house appear even more spacious than it really is, and each bedroom opens onto a balcony with a view of the Caribbean Sea. This serenity is known to help patients. But why are we telling you this? Well, in Latin America and the Caribbean, there are about 500,000 cases of cervical cancer annually, which claim the lives of over 200,000 women each year. Research also shows that the human papillomavirus, or HPV, is the cause of 90% of cervical cancer cases globally. In Tobago, multiple HPV infections were found in 12% of all women, and the cervical cancer rate in Trinidad and Tobago is 2 times higher than worldwide. So how can these infections be prevented or treated? Keyshawn Wilson tells us what's being done in Tobago.
So you've done a pap smear, but the results were abnormal. What's the next step? The doctor usually advises that you do what's known as a coloscopy, which is really a complicated way of saying they will use a special microscope to look for signs of disease. That special microscope is known as a colposcope, which allows the process to be completed within 20 minutes and patients won't have to be put to sleep. But in Tobago, this was not the case.
If a patient came to the clinic with an abnormal pap smear, because we may not be able to determine what part of the cervix the abnormal area is, you would have to remove what we call the transformation zone, or a section of the cervix where the abnormal area could be. And of course, if you do that and then you find that there's nothing there, it meant that you would have done a procedure on a patient that may not have been necessary.
That has now changed. The Scarborough General Hospital has enhanced their cancer screening services with this $100,000 device. Dr. Wheeler explains how all areas of concern are identified.
That magnifies the cervix, which is the neck of the womb, so that you are able to see if there's any abnormal cells present. And with the aid of certain solutions such as acetic acid or vinegar, which we paint on the cervix, acetic acid causes the abnormal cells to be white, that you can look carefully on it, and the Lugol's iodine, which is the other solution, when you put it on the cervix, it doesn't take up the stain. And what you're doing with the colposcope is to magnify the cervix so that any abnormal area on it, you can then remove a small piece of it.
Dr. Wheeler says since they've acquired the device in April of last year, it has helped just about 20 patients. But more so, it also boosts Scarborough General Hospital's capability to provide advanced care to this island.
And it also helps in reducing the number of patients that have to go to Trinidad for treatment. One of the things that the new hospital was supposed to do is to provide more care in Tobago. And I believe that having the colposcope here adds in that overall effort to make Tobago more self-reliant when it comes to provision of health care.
Scarborough General now joins San Fernando and Port of Spain General Hospitals, which already offers coloscopy examinations. I'm Keyshawn Wilson for Let's Talk Tobago.
Do you have land and want to get into agriculture? If so, you can get assistance to set up or maintain your agricultural business. Just last year, over 100 farmers received money for equipment purchases or various aspects of their businesses. Let's find out how this program works and how it has benefited one livestock farmer who got a portion of the over $1 million given in assistance.
Peter Leslie turned his passion for rabbit rearing into a business called the Rabbitry Limited, where he's the managing director. Now, with over 100 breeding does, he's able to supply rabbit meat. The growth of his business is driven by his determination. But he also got some financial help from the Agricultural Incentive Program. The money helped to build cages and expand the building where he houses the rabbits.
It has allowed you to stretch your resources, your personal resources even further. Because how the incentive works, when you invest, a percentage of what you invest in certain areas would be refunded to you as an incentive. So it allows you to go a little bit further in the context of, an investment, or it allows you to strengthen your cash flow position as a result of those refunds that you would get from time to time.
Crop farmers, those in agro-processing, and fishermen also benefited from the incentive program. And they can access the refunds in categories such as land preparation, small machinery and equipment, and irrigation systems. The program is under the Division of Agriculture, Marine Affairs, Marketing and the Environment, and is part of a larger strategy that seeks to reduce the food import bill by increasing local production.
The incentive, I must mention, is a national program and it's geared towards building a sustainable agricultural sector. So what it really does is try to encourage young persons into the sector as well as maintain the existing farmers that we have.
And the division plans to do more in 2015.
We are hoping that we can go on a sensitizing drive of the incentive program to encourage more persons, and I don't mean to be age biased, but younger persons to get involved in agriculture.
This year, the division hopes that more people will take advantage of the program in the areas of integrated pest management and soil conservation. I'm Alyssa Crosby for Let's Talk Tobago.
The Victor E. Bruce Financial Complex, the library, the boardwalk, and even changes in the flow of traffic are reshaping Tobago's capital into a more modern town. Now, this vision for New Scarborough goes hand in hand with a waste management program which ensures our island remains clean. It's designed specifically for this part of Tobago, and Omadara Mills tells us there's a comprehensive plan to collect and get rid of the waste produced by the commercial and residential entities.
Garbage is not something you'd like to see when you enter a town, especially on an island that boasts of being clean. As such, these workers who are contracted by the Public Health Department deal with collecting the solid waste, that's litter, as part of the waste management program. But the program includes another aspect.
In Scarborough, we have a sewage treatment plant, and that falls under the purview of the Water and Sewage Authority. We also have sewer lines. So the premises in Scarborough, they are supposed to be hooked up to the sewer. That process is something that is ongoing to deal with the liquid waste.
Mr. Bob says that this comprehensive approach to waste disposal helps with boosting the tourism industry since visitors appreciate a clean environment. More than this, there are health and hygiene benefits.
With waste, you have lots of potential pathogens, disease-causing organisms, and it is the duty of the authorities to protect the health of its citizens, and this is one aspect. Besides that, I mean, garbage just looks bad. It just looks bad. So you want to prevent disease.
Improving the efficiency of the waste management system in Scarborough has been an ongoing process, and there are plans for the future.
We also have like the drainage system. Some of those things we need to address because a lot of things come down from, communities into the drainage system, and that may create a problem. So it's an all-round approach.
Other plans for this program include placing more bins around the town and have more public awareness campaigns on litter eradication. I'm Umadar Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's time to take a break, but do stay with us because coming up, we're taking you inside the Shore Park complex. It's a taste of what to expect. Thanks for staying with us. You're viewing Let's Talk Tobago, and today we're at Kapinjala Villa in the middle of the old Arnos Vale Sugar Estate. This place caters for holiday guests, but its calm, tropical ambience and space makes it a sought-after venue for weddings, birthday parties and intimate functions. At Kapinjala, guests are spoiled for choice. There's a jacuzzi in the middle of what is said to be the largest infinity pool on the island, and this view in particular lends itself to what the owners call a slice of paradise. Now imagine spending your day here and by night sitting among 5,000 people to enjoy a major theatre production. What if we told you that same space can be transformed into a place where you can watch a basketball game? And while that's going on, other people can be in several small or medium-sized conference rooms without being disturbed? That's the Shore Park complex, and it promises to be the premier arts, cultural and sporting venue in the Caribbean region. Here's the story on the possibilities the complex holds for Tobago and beyond when it's opened.
The Shore Park complex will be the venue for an interreligious service entitled Evening of Thanksgiving United in Praise. It's one of the events to be hosted here before the official opening. Another is the THA's 2015 Interdepartment Personality and Calypso Monarch competition, which took place at the parade grounds last year. This has now found a home at the complex, which has a main auditorium with modular floors, which means that activities such as sporting events, theatre productions, musical performances, film screenings and cultural shows can take place in the space. The executive coordinator for the complex, John Arnold, says there are different areas which Tobagonians can benefit from.
One is the business prong, the fact that obviously this affords a number of business opportunities. We're also working on the tourism prong, which is sport tourism and of course event tourism. We're also working on the cultural prong, which is really the fact that you can have concerts, productions, and they can be of different nature.
The fan-shaped building has other rooms that will host the Heritage Library, art exhibition rooms, and 6 conference rooms. It's a space aimed at attracting local, regional, and international audiences.
We are looking forward to sharing this with the globe, especially in the one world space that we live in, and hoping that we can attract international conferences and conventions, incentive programs to come here to Tobago to enjoy not only the facility which would give them the event elements, but certainly where they can enjoy a destination that has some real panache.
The official opening is planned for March. I'm Umudara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Community-based organizations continuously give. They help the needy. Some selflessly give of their time to our children, while there are those who devote their resources to caring for the elderly. Whatever their focus, most of these organizations go about their daily business without financial rewards. Thankfully, there are those who recognize their good work and compensate these groups and the less fortunate. Let's find out who is on the receiving end this time.
Scores of children from Scarborough and environs gather here to receive assistance with homework, learn to read and even dance. Yes, dance, because the managers of the facility want to develop all-rounded youths. So the Calder Hall Y Zone launched a new activity, the Y Zone Dance Project, which ran from July to October last year and ended with a grand concert. But they needed financial assistance to offset their expenses. So the Office of the Chief Secretary stepped in as part of its outreach mandate.
They wanted to hold something for the children of the area, the Y Zone Dance Project, and it came off as a success for the first year, even though it was a little challenging. But we made it, and I'd like to say thanks for the support.
Sheldon Marshall is also a beneficiary. His home was gutted by fire only 6 months ago. Now he finally has $50,000 to start rebuilding his life.
This money that I receive here, I will start to put my house back in order.
And religious organizations also received help. The Jesus Rally Foundation received a check for this cause.
We want to say thanks on behalf of the committee for the check that we receive. It helps us along in giving hampers to the communities that we go around.
Over 10 organizations received funds from the Office of the Chief Secretary, which gave out more than $200,000 in this round of check distribution. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's Carnival, and the steel bands all around the Tobago are gearing up for the local and national pan competitions. And while this is good, there's a school of thought that bands should be doing more year-round, not just at Panorama. The good news is this island is taking steps to move our steel orchestras from a seasonal product to thriving businesses.
Kimberly Noel is a member of the Redemption Sound Setters Steel Orchestra since she was 7 years old, and now at 21 she is the leader of the tenor section. She is also the secretary of this steel orchestra. With her positions in the band, Kimberly is grateful that she participated in the Steel Band Management Skills Workshop that was put on by the Division of Community Development and Culture and Pan Trinbago Tobago Zone.
As a youth of the band, we have to learn and put ourselves in a position where we can be in the position where the captain may leave, and we have to pick up the slack, or be in that position one day. So I thought it was a great idea for me to get the experience.
Kimberly was one of about 30 participants in the workshop. She learned that in order for bands to grow into successful businesses beyond the Panorama or the THA Pan Champs, they have to find creative ways to get sponsorship. Kimberly explains how she's been using the other bits of advice she got from the workshop.
Being on time to practice is a great part of what we use here, so I brought that back and we have improved on that a great much.
Beverly Ramsey Moore facilitated one of the two-day workshops. She is the manager of Cats and Jammers for about 10 years. And besides winning national competitions, she told the participants of her band's development where they have year-round operations.
But we have a working state side, which they play with, whether it's in the hotels, for weddings or for whatever ceremony that we have a working state side, and where we also pay them at the end of each quarter. We operate a bar here, we operate a gift shop, and we also provide transport whenever anybody wants transport in the community, because we have a truck and all of that.
It's hoped that the steel bands can now have a greater presence in their communities by building stronger business practices. I'm Omodara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
We're taking another break, but on the other side, another Grammy Award-winning artist joins the lineup for this year's Tobago Jazz Experience.
Sit Tobago, ready to provide your community with the highest degree of professional services in emergency response. Contact SIT Mariah at 660-0065 or SIT Speyside at 660-6096. SIT 24-hour services, emergencies, medical or other. SIT Pro, the new face of emergency management. Small bites equal major consequences. Protect yourself and your loved ones from mosquito-transmitted diseases such as dengue and chikungunya. Take these simple steps. Empty and clean water storage vessels and flower pots, saucers regularly. Clear gutter and nearby bush which may harbor mosquitoes. Install mosquito screens on windows and at other entry points. Use mosquito nets, repellents, and wear long-sleeved clothing. Take action now. Small bites equal major consequences. A message from the Public Health Department. Telephone number 639-5294 or 639-1433.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tobago. Today you're joining us at Kapinjala Villa in the middle of the Arnos Vale Sugar Estate. Kapinjala provides quite a few services that makes its visitors' stay a lot more comfortable. They provide daily housekeeping and can assist with any other service that you may need, such as babysitting, cooking, accessing tour guides to the rainforest or transportation to the local beaches and historic sites. And in April, if you're here, you might just need that kind of help to ensure you don't miss your favorite act during the Tobago Jazz Experience. It's the next big event on our entertainment calendar after Carnival. The buzz has already started after some of the major acts were revealed. Well, someone else has been added to that lineup. Time to find out who.
A taste of what Tobago Jazz Experience 2015 can expect from Miguel. He'll join the other confirmed artists, Jennifer Hudson, Jill Scott, and Cooler the Gang. His set will be part of what the organizers bill World Music Night, a show comprising a number of musical genres. Miguel's 2012 album, Kaleidoscope Dream, peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200 and features a Dawn, which earned him his first Grammy for Best R&B Song. In fact, 2 years ago, at the 55th Grammy Awards, Miguel actually earned a total of 5 nominations. He's currently working on his 3rd album and is featured on Mariah Carey's Beautiful. The Division of Tourism and Transportation hopes that big names like Miguel will help the festival build on last year's success. In 2014, the night John Legend performed drew the largest crowd yet to the Tobago Jazz Experience. This year's event starts on April 18th and runs until 26th. I'm Keishon Wilson for Let's Talk Tobago.
Do you know that learning about the environment and animals doesn't have to be dull and boring? It shouldn't feel like a chore laden with statistics and unfamiliar words. Well, in Tobago, there's a radio program designed to teach both children and adults about our local flora and fauna and how everything is interconnected. But they're doing it in a fun and interactive way. The program also educates the public on the importance of preserving our environments.
Have you ever listened closely to the wake-up call of Nellie the rooster at 6 a.m. every day? Dassie certainly has. Lying snug in her burrow, she would twist and turn her furry little body and used her small little white paws to cover her ears to block out the loud crowing of Nelly early in the morning.
You're listening to a snippet of The Adventures of Darcy the Tobago Agouti. It's one of the environmental stories that the public hears on the local radio station. And it's not just about listening to a story. Listeners also have the chance to win prizes such as tablets or movie-tongue tickets, granted that they answer questions such as these correctly.
Can you identify 2 species of birds mentioned in the story? Where did the Council of the Coquelicos keep their morning and evening meetings?
The Storytime radio program was created by the officers at the THA's Department of Natural Resources and the Environment. And whether the stories or skits take you into the world of Tobago's agoutis, coquelicos, dragonflies, or the rainforest, the idea is to make the public more aware of preserving the environment.
Conserving the environment is very important. What we want to and we hope to achieve is, getting people to bear in mind the concept of sustainability and how the environment could affect not just people here but the future generations.
The radio program also aims to sensitize Tobagonians about global environmental issues. The Storytime radio program started in 2012 and is on air once per week for 3 months. The public can listen in for more stories this year since the organizers are in the process of preparing for the 2015 season. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
And it's time to have your say, the segment of our program where we hear from you, our viewers. At the first autonomy meeting for 2015, the Chief Secretary Orville London expressed his frustration with the central government. He said last year the Prime Minister committed to doing 2 things by the end of January. Speaking with her cabinet about the issue of self-government for Tobago and a meeting with Tobago officials. But according to him, none of these promises have materialized. Mr. London says if the Prime Minister does not come back with a commitment for serious discussions by the deadline she set, Tobago will go it alone. So today we're asking, what do you make of the fact that the Prime Minister is yet to respond to the Chief Secretary's letter on the issue of Tobago's autonomy? This is what you said.
This way how we are here and all we have to be groveling and begging because this is not just Tobago or just Trinidad, it's Trinidad and Tobago, and I find that she should find some way at some ground, some level ground where they could meet and they could just trash out this thing because this has been going on for far too long.
I think it's rude, and as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, she should respond because whatever Tobago and Trinidad make up one country, right? And this is our twin island, and she should respect our view in Tobago because we are part of it.
I believe that that perspective of where we stand right about though, she should respond to him in a timely manner.
She's just trying to stall. She very well knows that Tobago can handle its own affairs. She's afraid of losing a gem, so she's just stalling. That's all it's about, stalling.
In the due course of time, things would work out. But he just have to wait. You understand what I mean?
She always waits on an opinion from other people.
It's time, that the Prime Minister come forward now and talk to these people. Talk to them because they all gather their thing together now and they're ready now.
And that's how we bring this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago to a close. Remember, you can send us your comments or queries on anything you've seen in this program to information@tha.gov.tt, or you can even visit us at www.tha.gov.tt. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Davia Chambers, and on behalf of all of us at the Department of Information, have a safe and enjoyable week. And as we go, here's a final look at Kapinjala, which is located within the old Arnos Vale sugar estates.